Hello, my dear and mysterious Scorpios. This is your horoscope for 2024. Happy New Year to all of you. And on this happy note, let's start with the lucky and happy planet of Jupiter. This planet is the planet of luck, planet of expansion, prosperity, happiness, joy. Wherever it comes, in which area of your life it comes in the horoscope, that area of life will be superb in the coming year. So let's see where it's going to be in your horoscope. Jupiter until 26th of May 2024, so first half of the year, it will be in your seventh house. It has been transiting it since last year, around May, and it is now second half of full year of Jupiter transiting this area of your chart, the area of seventh house. Seventh house, what is seventh house stands for? It is your steady sweetheart or spouse or partner, long-term relationship. It's not those people that are short-term, or that you are like those relationships that you just started. No, it is those who are beside you already for quite long, and you have pretty serious intentions. So long-term relationships, or wife or your husband. So all these people and this area of your chart is actually gets very lucky for you, gives you more happiness, more expansion. If you're a little bit lonely, so maybe you already met someone last year, or you're gonna still meet that person, you still have chance of a full half year. And Jupiter now, since New Year's Eve, going direct. It was retrograding, meaning moving backwards, slowing down, but it doesn't mean that he stopped giving the gifts of the universe. It just means that it's just a little bit slow. Maybe you had to take pause and think of what kind of partners you would like to see around you, what kind of like people would like to see around you, because seventh house is also all people you're surrounding. It's not only but those surrounding which are like in a serious relationship, in a business relationship, your co-partners, let's say co-shareholders, business partnerships, all are here in the seventh house. And of course, marriage partners. Maybe, and now Jupiter from New Year's Eve is going direct, so moving direct. It's now in the full force to shower you with luck, happiness, and expansion, which means if you are hoping to meet someone special, then this is your time. Go out and mingle. Of course, the universe gives you chances, but it is you who will need to go and get it. So please go out, mingle, and just even like more often go to some parties, invitations. Maybe you're gonna meet there, or just do not sit home. This is for sure not the way you're gonna meet your sweetheart. Okay, seventh house is also big corporations, all sorts of contractual agreements. So if you've been building some kind of a business, or you're trying to collaborate with someone, then that collaboration, that business is going to be very successful. To do it, and you have time until June of this year still to sign those papers, to get involved in that business that you really want, and Jupiter will open the doors for you. He will open like the right people on the right places on the right time. This kind of things can happen. So if you have something in mind about building some kind of a businesses, contractual agreements, then go for it. Next, and this is the favorite placement actually. Jupiter in seventh house indicates maybe if you've already been in a long-term relationship, now is the time to pop that question up. Go for marriage. Many of you got married probably last year already, or you've been planning, or you've got engaged, and now you're going to get married this year, which will be very, very happy moment in your life, I'm sure. Or also indicates actually divorces too. But here I feel like if you are in the process of divorce, then or if you're thinking about it, then probably you will be happy somehow about it, and with a very happy outcome as well. It will be, let's say, easy ride to take. Okay, I'm thinking, let's see now what Jupiter is doing after 26th of May this year. It's going to move into your 8th house. This area of your chart, 8th house, is responsible for all other, it's like financial house, so of all other people's money, or government's money that comes to you through other people. So this is pretty good placement because it's your financial house. So most probably, if you have a spouse, then he will get very lucky after May. Maybe he will get promotion, or maybe he will move somewhere. He will get a job somewhere, or offer for a job somewhere in a foreign country, because Jupiter indicates all foreigns and foreign land, foreign people. Maybe because of that, you're going to move with your spouse, because he will get paid more, and of course you will be also on the happy side. Or your wife or husband's salary also might increase, or he or she can get inheritance, simply as that. Maybe some, it doesn't mean like other people can pass away and leave an inheritance, but also just an inheritance. Maybe someone, because you did something good in the past, will leave for inheritance too. It's also very highly possible, because Jupiter is the giver of gifts and luck, and you never know how it will expand your life in that area. Also, here might be that if you're in the process of buying a house or buying a car with your sweetheart, or just yourself, banks will be very, you will be on their very favored list. Maybe they will be very cooperative and offer you some bank loans with a very low interest rates, or very good, which is like the programs that will be good for you. Also, 8th house is the house of conception. If you've been wishing to have a baby, so it's the best time to do it, especially to find the right doctor for that, the right specialist, or go for IV, in vitro, if you need to do so, and it should be very, very lucky for you. Also, 8th house is about investments. If you are, let's say, if you've been investing into crypto or some shares, those investments might give you good returns now after May 2024 on different instruments, by the way. And it's very nice to also get involved into buying different financial instruments as well. If you will be interested in this topic, then it should be lucky for you as well, because everything will be more easier to understand and get involved, really. And next, also, 8th house is the house of critical situations. It's a crisis house. So here, Jupiter will actually make it easier for you, my dear Scorpios, as a deep feelers of all the crises. You, my guys, might now somehow feel more lucky, or more easy. What I mean is that it will be like feeling there is some kind of an angel who is protecting. Of course, there is always an angel who protects us, but for you guys, it will be more like if there is any situation, you already handle it as real Scorpios, as real fighters, by nature. But here, after May, you will feel more support and more easygoing energy. So, okay, and in general, Jupiter is the ruler of your 2nd house, of your earned money. So I think here it is a very big plus, because your bank will expand because of other people's help, or other people's effort as well, especially your spouse, for example, if you have, or some governmental help. Like if you are applying for a scholarship to study somewhere, then it is also a good time. There is a high chance that you will get that scholarship, or some kind of help from government, as like money, and some kind of funds. So let's move to Saturn. I'd like to talk a little bit about Saturn, and the planet of discipline, responsibility, a little bit heavy planet, cold planet, a planet of restrictions, where it's where Saturn is in the horoscope. It shows where you will be putting hard work and learning, growing a lot, acquiring lessons. So this area will be for you 5th house this whole year, 2024. 5th house is the house of kids. So if you have kids, then this year is going to be around learning something, learning a lot from life. What is it to have kids? And maybe there will be a lot of kids issues that you have to be dealing with, a lot of kids things, maybe kids kindergarten or school. So just be prepared. Also, if you would like to have kids, and probably Saturn is also, planet of taking responsibilities, then you will have kids this year, and it will make you, take the responsibility, another one. So this also highly possible. 5th house also, because it's a Saturn is indicator of wise old men, and maybe if you have kids, you might learn quite a lot of things from kids. So they can teach you something, some lessons about life that you won't expect as well. Okay, next, fifth house is also house of business, our house of creative house, means like dancers, actors, singers, our hobby, our what we like to do, what we love to do, and it's also house of love for yourself. So if you are a dancer or actor, singer, or any of area of entertainment, let's say some kind of artist, here Saturn will give you probably more responsibilities, like in terms of like more projects. Here be careful not to burn out, because Saturn also likes to give a little bit pressure, and also will learn a lot of lessons in this area. Would advise you to be disciplined, don't forget to take rest and eat, and follow your schedule, because that's what Saturn loves. Because Saturn can give a lot of work. So just maintain your everyday routine, then you should be fine. Fifth house is also house, and by the way, about the creativity, if you would like to study on this area, like to draw something or to write or to act, then just be prepared that Saturn is quite like a strict planet, so it will demand from you good skills and hard work. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. So go for it if you have such plans. Fifth house is also about let's say it's alcohol and cigarettes as well, comes to under the fifth house. Maybe Saturn is the planet of restriction, it doesn't like much of let's say unhealthy habits. It likes to that you take responsibility for what you do, what you say, what you consume. So maybe these addictions be less, which will be a good thing to do. If you have some plans to do so, then this will be the best time, as Saturn will restrict these things as well from your area of life. And this area of life as well, fifth house is also house of love triangles. If you've been in any love triangle, or you haven't been aware of, then just be prepared that it will come open, and it will stop, because Saturn doesn't like let's say Saturn is not the planet of a one-night stands or short-term relationships. It's Saturn loves relationships that is built on a solid ground fundament. So it's actually it will destroy all the love triangles that you're involved, or just not necessarily you, but surrounding you might be as well ruined. Okay, what else here? Let's move to planet Pluto, your ruler, dear Scorpios. You have actually two rulers. One is an ancient one, Mars, and now the other one is the modern one, because Pluto was discovered relatively recently, and it's now your ruler, one of the rulers. Pluto is the planet of transformation, as the Scorpios itself. I like to say, like, Scorpios have, I don't know, 100 maybe souls. So Pluto is, planet of transformation. It transforms everything it touches, so that you won't recognize, and so this planet is like a Scorpio. It will touch the things, and those things will not be anymore the same. Planet of a big money as well, Pluto. It's really big money planet, and it's a planet of as a subtle teacher. I always like to say this, because Pluto's game is a long-term game. It's a game for from like 15 to 22 years, and its influence you will only feel after, let's say, 10 plus years. It's always interesting to to see how your life changed during Pluto transit. So Pluto this year will move to the next area of your life for 20 years, as long as 20 years, and for good. It will be still 2 months coming back to your previous area of life of the horoscope, which is fourth house. But this year it will move definitely without going back to your it will move to the fourth house. It was in the third house. So now the fourth house, Pluto will stay in your fourth house for 20 years, beginning 20th November. But it will already move into your fourth house this month, January, around 20th. and briefly go out from your fourth house in September for just 2 months back to your third house, where it spent his last 15 years since 2008. So you can imagine it's such a big transit. It's a slow planet. And just 2 months you will be doing something, finishing up something in that area of life in third house. And then when Pluto moves on 20th November to your fourth house, for 20 years until 2044. Yes, I'm not joking, 2044. This area of life will change completely. Fourth house, what is it about this fourth house? Fourth house is the family. Is the family that you build, that you make, is the family that you come from. It's your root. It's also what you call home, where you call home. What is family for you? Also family tree, parents, mother's life as well. And fourth house is also the place where you grew up. So this area of life will change in the next 20 years. Pluto will transform this area of life. Maybe you will reconceptualize for yourself what is it to be family, what it takes to be family, what you call home, where you call home, and where is your home. And fourth house is also real estate. Maybe you're going to build a house and it will take 20 years, or while you are living there. Or if you, fourth house is also migration and citizenship. If you've been, planning to immigrate or get another country's citizenship, then you will get it next 20 years. You will change. And that's how Pluto will change your, let's say, place where you call home, and the country where you call home. And also, if you've been last 15 years already like moved and got another citizenship, then when Pluto moves to your fourth house, it will stop. It means you will move to a different country again. It's also possible. Pluto in general, it's like in order to become like a phoenix, the beautiful creature, Pluto loves to bring up all the ugly things to the surface first, which is very deep thing. It loves to stir up all these things, and then and also Pluto likes to give pressures. It's a little bit heavy planet. So afterwards, when you deal with this, all the ugly things and bad things first, it will transform you. You will be transformed into renewed self, into a beautiful self that is complete and honest. So just expect this kind of things in your area of family, in your area, maybe immigration, citizenship, this kind of topics, or parents as well. Life may change. Or maybe you're just going to buy a house somewhere, and it will be as long as for 20 years, The last 15 years, since 2008, it was in your third house. And third house is the house of communication, the way how we communicate. It's most probably since 2008, it was teaching you how to communicate. And after 15 years, you are now a master of communication, what to say, where to say, to whom to say, and maybe learn the languages. Maybe now you're a language genius, or you just learned one or two just because you had to, because you, for example, migrated somewhere and you had to learn the language, for example. It can be many scenarios, or let's say because you learned language, that's why you moved to that country. Also, third house is our siblings, brothers, sisters, or our relatives. Maybe in the last 15 years, you stopped communication with some of them, like completely transformed the communication, or just it became less communication there. Also neighbors, the same situation, some kind of stress was there. Third house is also the house of skills, the skills that we learn, that we acquire for some kind of like professions, like let's say hairdresser, or master of like nail artist, and makeup artist as well. It's a lot like skills that we learn. And the third house is also education, the learning house. Maybe you've been last 15 years learning some skills in order to get integrated into this world. And now it will stop because Pluto is moving to the fourth house, and now you will be doing something else completely. Or vice versa, you will start doing that you learned now as an education, let's say in theory, and now you will put that into practice. Okay, let's move to eclipses. Eclipses is the very important topic to discuss, because eclipses are like elevator. It's like a lift that lifts us up It's like a rocket that shoots us very high to our destiny. Because why? Because people are, we are more, let's say, slow in decision making. We are more doubting sometimes ourselves, and eclipses helps us to move faster, to move to do that finally that step, to take that exam, to go to those places, to to open the door, go outside and put yourself out there. So eclipses pushes us, and it's really helping us to move forward. And this year we have 4 eclipses, and eclipses happen because of the lunar nodes, and lunar nodes are always in a opposite directions, and they are in the chart in the opposite houses as well, in the opposite signs, and eclipses happen because of them, and they are called this fate line. So where you should be going in this lifetime and what you should be releasing. One node points where you should be going, and the other one points what you should be releasing in this lifetime. So your dear Scorpios, north node will be in the 6th house, and the south node will be in the 12th house. 6th house and the 12th house is the Chiron houses, we call them. It's descending houses. These axes, it's axis of service for others. It's a work, it's everyday routine, for example, also eating habits, also obligations, health, everyday life, mental health, one-on-one, our private as well, let's say a private time. Here, these eclipses probably will change your work, let's say. These eclipses moved into your this 6th and 12th houses last July in 2023, and they will still spend here this year, 2024, and they will be pushing you to find that job, to get that job, or to change your job if you don't like it, and you've been already like thinking about it for a long time, and eclipses will make circumstances for you to finally take actions on those things that you've been thinking already for a long time, and everything will be like as universe will make it for you, which is very good. It might give you a new job, it might give you or it might give you a job somewhere very far, somewhere on the island, for example, because 12th house is the house of isolation. It's a far lands, it's like somewhere isolated, like islands or hospitals or prisons as well. Maybe your job will be related to those kind of area, I don't know, vacations. It's everyday routine. Your everyday schedule might change. For example, you've been like working 8 hours, but now you're gonna work just 4 hours for that or any other reason. Let's say you have a baby, now you have like full-time mommy. Maybe you will not be working at all, or you just been already with the baby, let's say, for a year, and now you will again start working, but for the beginning 4 hours, let's say. Or it might change that your, let's say, job will change as like a schedule. You've been working during the daytime shift, and now it will be nighttime shift, let's say. It might also happen. Here is also eating habits because of your everyday routine changes. So eating habits changes consequently, of course. Or maybe you would like to, be more healthy and eat, let's say, restrict yourself from eating some things that you loved before, for example, as one scenario. Or it's a axis of health as well. If something comes up during this transit, during this year, concerning your health, I advise you to check it up, and most probably eclipses will show you where you need to look at in your body, in your health, so that you treat it. And the same, it's the same with the mental health as well. Also, here is very good because South Node is in your 12th house. 12th house is the house of loss. So here, if you would like to lose weight, let's say, it's the very good time. It's very good time, and since last July, most probably you've been already on that track, and you lost, let's say, weight quite a lot, which you are happy about. And let me tell you, it will be continuing if you have such intentions. And also here, good to stop smoking, quit drinking. It's the same, it's a house of loss. So it's a house of past as well. So maybe some, people or events from past might be coming to you back. You will be reflecting a lot. It's the house of, private house. So you will be very reflective. You are, as a Scorpios, you are already very reflective to yourself, but here will be intense, I would say. Also, this axis also indicates religious trips. Maybe you will want to change your religion, or just you will be interested in other religions, and you will go for some retreats, trips like to places like, power places, like some places in Mexico or Tibet, like China, and so on. Okay, now let me tell you when those eclipses are happening. I'll give you the dates. So keep in mind those dates. First one will happen 25th of March in your 12th house lunar eclipse. 12th house, as I said, it's a house of isolation. It's a private house of past. Maybe you will go to religious, I don't know, trips or just retreats like treatments, health treatments. Maybe you will go to some kind of a treatment you will undergo, or you will just would want more alone time, or you will just travel to some kind of an island. It's also highly possible. It's a far lands, it's a self-reflection, or someone from the past may come back to you. Next one will happen 8th of April in your 6th house, solar eclipse. 6th house is about work, about health. Here, maybe this eclipse will show you something about your health, or you will just go some checkups. Also, it might give you new work or change of work. You might also leave your work here. 6th house is also pets. Maybe you will get a pet. Or if you have pets, maybe it will be about their health. Also eating habits. Here, something about health and work related might come up. Third one will happen 18th of September in your 5th house lunar eclipse. 5th house is the house of kids. So here maybe some, kids related everyday errands may run. You may run, or business. If you have a business or you're gonna open a business, business will need your attention as well. And also this is a creative house, where if you're an actor, actress, or do some kind of art, or you don't, and you will now would like to do, these areas will lit for you. And here also love triangles. Here be careful. 18th September, these love triangles might be open. And yes, it will stop for sure, because eclipses pushes us to, always for good, never for bad. Even though it might be sometimes very not pleasant, but it's always for good. And the last one will happen 2nd of October in your 12th house solar eclipse. 12th house is again about treatments. It's a spirituality house as well. Maybe you would, start to learning astrology or tarot cards or numerology. These kind of topics might come to your interest, and you will start learning those subjects, or you will establish business around this kind of subject. Or again, you will want to go somewhere very far and spend with yourself some self time. Okay, let's move next here I would like to mention one thing. Your north node, the elevator, actually the elevator side, which is in your 6th house, during February, March, and April, will conjunct Chiron. Chiron is a mythical creature from Greek mythology. Chiron he had very interesting appearance. He was half horse and half human, and he was considered as a healer, wounded healer, and teacher. So here, your North Node conjuncting Chiron in your 6th house might indicate that if you've been struggling with some kind of a disease, you might get healed. Finally, you will be celebrating it. You would want to scream for the world that you're finally healthy, let's say. If you've been fighting with some health-related issues, you will finally find a cure. And also here, maybe eating habits as well. Or because you change your eating habits, you will also get healthy. 6th house is also a house of routine. And if you've been a long time, let's say, working night shifts, let's say, then now it might stop, because night shifts are not always, let's say, healthy. It might not be good for our body in the long term, so it might stop as well. 6th house is also a house of solving problems. If you've been dealing with a problem long term, with a particular problem, then you might get a boost and finally mend it with whomever or whatever there is a situation. Also, 6th house is the pets. If you have pets, then maybe it's about your pets, their health, their eating habit, and so on. And Chiron is indicator of number 2, because it's a half horse and a half human. So here in your 6th house, maybe you will have 2 works. You had before 1 work, and now you have 2 work, or 2 projects, or 2 offices to go. Let's say 1 month there, 1 month here, or 2 some kind of maybe 2 bosses you will get. Let's say, or 2 something too. Or might you get now 2 schedules at work as well. It might also happen, and what else? Or you will get the 2nd pet. It also can happen as well. Okay, let's talk about Mars now. Mars, our drive, our motivation, our action. Oof, I love this planet. It's another year ruler, ancient ruler. It's the engine inside of us. So this year it will retrograde, unfortunately, but just the last month of the year, 2024. So whole year it will be full speed, full force, driving us ahead to our destiny. It will retrograde only from the 7th of December in your 10th house. 10th house is the house of career, is the house of social status, is the house of job and goals. So here, Mars retrograding in your house of career might indicate that some projects might, pause at the end of the year, starting 7th of December. So some things at work might get delayed or postponed. And here, it's actually good to have some rest and not push things forward, because this is how universe wants them, and just give it a time. And some, let's say, goals and achievements, like if you were planning to get a certificate or degree at that time, it might be also delayed or postponed somehow for some reasons. Or just, it will happen later, maybe in 2025, not maybe, for sure. But when Mars is retro, everything slows down. It's very, you can feel it for sure. Okay, next, Mercury, our lovely planet of communication. Mercury retrogrades 3 times per year, as always. And during retro Mercury, do not start anything new, do not sign contracts. It's not advisable to do plastic surgeries as well, because you will redo it. Maybe you will not like results, maybe for some other reason you will just remake it. Don't buy expensive purchases like house, car, maybe because you will find another house which is better for lower price afterwards, or maybe you just won't like your house anymore. So you will, it's not advisable during Mercury retrograde to do those things, and sign contracts as well, because Mercury is the planet of communication, is everything that we write, speak. So it's not advisable to do any paperwork. But if you are reapplying for some things, then it is a good time, but not something new. So let's see which dates it's going to be retrograding. First retrograde will happen from 1st April to 25th of April in your 6th house, house of work, health, house of routine. So here again, in your 6th house retrograding, something might be delayed at work during April. Something, if the promotion was there, but it will be delayed, or some kind of a let's say salary rise as well. Maybe it will be delayed for 1 month later, or something about your health. If you've been going through checkups, those checkups might be mixed up, or just also will need more time to get the results back. And during this time in the 6th house at work, better not to sign contracts. And health-wise as well, better not to do any kind of surgeries. But of course, if it's something urgent, then of course it should be done. There is no Mercury retrograde that we're looking at, right? Okay, the second retrograde will happen 5th August until 28th of August, so pretty much whole August, in your 11th house. 11th house is the house of big communities, friendship house, online communication. It's a global house. It's a house of future, our wishes, our dreams, and maybe like big groups of people house, clubs. So here you might expect, maybe you will go back actually to the club that you've been before already. Again, you will sign up for a membership. Here is not good to go online. Let's say something will be messing up, something will be mixing up. So here very much, and some old friends might come back to your life as well. And the last retrograde will happen 26th of November until 15th of December in your 2nd house. Oh, a very sensitive house. 2nd house is the house of money, the money that you earn. It's a house of self-esteem. It's a house of values, what things you value in life. Maybe it's not money even, it can be love, it can be friendship, it can be family. Here, it's very good, because it's a money house, it's very good to give back money that you owe, or, close the loan or close the credit card. It's a very good time, but it's not a good time to borrow a money, or also not a good time to, let's say, to lend someone money, because then it will be hard and long. You will wait long, the money to come back. Okay, and lastly, I would like to speak about lovely planet Venus. Venus is the planet of love, is the planet of beauty and money. We all love when Venus is in our sign, because whatever Venus it touches, it just makes a very high note, a very positive note, and we become very in love with life, let's say. So we all love when Venus in our 1st house. That is when we shine. That is when we feel like we are magnet. It is very easy to convince anyone to do anything at that time. And it's also, you are very attractive to others and to everyone, and you just feel so positive. Let's see, when is it happening? In your 1st house, Venus will arrive 23rd of September until 17th of October. So during that time, you will feel that whole life is just smiling at you, and universe is just helping you enjoy and use the time if you have something, to convince someone to. Also, Venus transiting your seventh house will be also a happy moment, because the seventh house is the house of marriages, partnerships. During this time, maybe you will meet that special one, and you might also get engaged, get married, or even get divorced. But divorce will be with a good, let's say, good results for you. Also good, seventh house is the partnership house, business partnership. It will be a good time to sign the contracts, to do the partnerships, to to collaborate with someone, to sign the contracts as well. And that time will happen from April 29 until May 23rd. So during that time will be the best to sign all sorts of contracts, because as I see, Mercury will not retrograde during that time, and it's a perfect time. So this is it. Here, this was your horoscope for 2024, my dear Scorpios, and I wish you the very best, a bombastic year, and it will be that way. Just believe me and believe universe and believe yourselves the most. Bye.